So let me get to this next topic, right? We got to that. So I do want to get to this one too. About because I seen this article in Jamaica and how they were banning drill music because they said that, or just illegal activity music because they said that it had an influence on the youth and stuff like that, right? This is in Jamaica. I don't know about in all the Caribbean countries and stuff like that. So I really want to know what influence do you think that genres like dancehall and drill is having on the younger generation?
Wait, no.
Look, everybody's so
I don't know how y'all banning that. We've been telling women to take buddy from from what? Babies telling women to take buddy. So it's just like I'm gonna let y'all talk first.
About him selling drugs. What we talking?
Huh?
Like Buju has mad songs about him selling drugs. Like, what you mean?
No, I mean this is a new policy that Jamaica.
I did hear they were planning to ban dancehall in Jamaica. I did hear that. I didn't know how
in Jamaica.
Yeah,
the own music.
Yeah, they were exactly. So, but after they said it, I didn't hear too much more about it. So I don't.
That would never happen. It would be a riot. It would never happen.
So basically, what I want to get to with this topic, because in American culture, especially in hip hop, when we think about the types of music that is heavily in rotation, whether it's with the guys, they talk about the illegal activities, how they disrespect women, whatever the case is, and you see how that affects the generation. And now we even have, the women in hip hop who are very much sexually liberated, and we see the impact that it has on the younger generation, right? You know what I mean? So this is why I wanted to relate it back to Caribbean culture, because when you think about dancehall music, there's an aspect that is very sexual. You know what I mean? And these kids are growing up talking about I got a penis for your vagina, girl. They don't even know what that means, but they're growing up listening to this type of music. So do you think, those specific genres do they have the impact on like the younger generation growing up?
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same, even with when I was coming up with, hip hop and Lil' Kim and all that stuff. I think the problem now is that everything is easily accessible. Like it's at their fingertips with their phones. So before, your parents, they had parental control and stuff like that. So I think that's the reason why they're trying to rein it in. As with anything, I think it goes back to, you have to be your child's biggest influence. So they could try to stop it all they want, but I don't think it's going to change because it's all about what sells, So the studios, the recording companies and stuff like that, they're not about to make all this music PG. Yeah, they're not, because it's not going to sell.
But who's controlling these, these record labels that is pushing out that narrative? Like, you know what I mean? You said it's not about to sell. These normally ain't people that look like us that's own these record labels. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so you just exactly what you just said. It just went full circle back to what you said. It's the narrative they're trying to push out. Like, I saw on TikTok. I don't even want to call anybody's name because I don't want to come across. They say, "Oh, you're targeting a specific artist and you're bullying them." When I think what really needs to happen is you need to address the issue underneath the entire umbrella of hip hop, right? And so you had one woman call out certain artists in hip hop saying that they were industry plants designed to tear down the image of the Black woman, and all hell broke loose. I saw so many stitches. I think it ended up on the Shade Room. And so, she was just basically saying that this is a narrative that they're purposely trying to push to make it seem like Black women are hypersexualized and, they're not as educated, because remember, not too long ago, Black women were the highest educated group in the United States. So now they have to counter that. They have to combat that and try to change the narrative that's out there. Like, oh, no, they're not that smart. No, this is what they're really about. So we don't know who's writing these lyrics. I personally think they're despicable. Like, they're not, it's like, what are y'all doing? Y'all not even telling a story. You're just talking nasty and you got a good beat to it. You know what I'm saying? So people are calling that out, but the record labels are basically telling them, yo, if you don't do it, we're not going to push your album.
Yeah, but you see how, my fault, you see how that can affect a role into now when a young girl is trying to make it in the industry. She feels like she has to go down that sexual route.
Yes.
And this is why I wanted to kind of reel it back into Caribbean culture, because is that effect having the same thing on the Caribbean, the dance hall and the drills, obviously, because drill, in Jamaica is a product of American drill, like, you know what I mean, in America. So, we see the activity, the spike in gang activity and stuff like that, which is why they're trying to, like, all right, we got to chill with this. So, you know what I mean? So I want to bring this back into Caribbean culture. Do you think that does have an effect on the youth?
I guess it's how it's presented and how it's controlled. As far as the youth go, I know I raised mine. You understand what I'm saying? And so I try to intercept what's coming at them, or I tried to intercept when they were younger. So I do feel that the artists have a responsibility to some extent, but at the same time, they want to push their art as well. I don't think I personally don't think the government should get involved with it. I don't think so. I think they're overstepping. I think it's a gross, abuse of authority, and they're really just overstepping when it comes to that. Because run the government. We didn't ask y'all to talk about music.
But then it kind of goes hand in hand, because when the songs is about shooting and all that stuff, and then these kids are shooting people and gang activity in like a Jamaica and Trinidad and stuff like that.
Well, I know, like
in Trinidad, I know it's like a high
they have that in the music.
Yeah,
listen, I still listen to Tiny Whiny.
Dancehall these days is real rough. Yeah, so I think it goes hand in hand at the same time. Like, we could say like the government should not be involved, but like that's kind of their job when you think about it.
The thing with Caribbean people and the drill music and thing, right? But when I was back home, when I used to go to school, I would talk about that. When schools have fight against each other, they would try doing Bloods and Crips. They would try practicing stuff that the American kids
in Guyana.
Yes. Like, why are you doing that? Y'all know the consequences of this. Stop practicing what y'all see on television.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Influence, like, they don't have better sense. They just see and they would do. That's the only thing with Caribbean kids back home. They don't think. They don't know better. They don't understand the reason. They don't know the danger behind these things. This is the only thing I can tell you about, because they really don't know the seriousness behind the bloods, the stories, these things. This is the only thing but Caribbean kids. That's why they be influenced easy back home. That's the only reason why they want to ban it. Well, I think.
Are they trying to ban it in Guyana too?
Nah, they would never. They can't control the kids back home. But it's not as serious drilling and them thing. Them guys turning understand what's drilling. They didn't understand them thing. They're more dancehall and soca. Drill, I don't know, they didn't even know Nipsey Hussle that good. Oh, what am I doing? Guyanese people always late with the hip hop thing. Then I sure didn't really into the drill thing right now. That's the only thing with Guyana. We always late and last minute. But that's the only thing with Caribbean kids practicing what they see on television or what they hear. They don't know the seriousness behind the Bloods and Crips, the signs and these things. They would see it on TV and on Instagram, and they would practicing the signs them, and they don't know what the woo sign mean. And they need to stop it because they get themselves in problem. That's the only thing I should say. I know back home.
You sound like a true Caribbean person. And look, I want to say it's a generational thing, right? First, but I would say, and I hope nobody's offended, when you come from a Caribbean background, your parents are on your ass. So like I don't give a fuck what song you singing, what dance you doing. When your fucking parent come around, you ain't doing that shit no more.
It's true, you stop.
And now with the freedom that you get here in America, where children control the narrative of how their parent respond to them, they can decide how they're gonna react to their mom telling you something. You shut up, mom. You know what I mean?
You can't do that.
You're not doing that in Jamaica, Guyana, anywhere else, because ain't nobody there to save you.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying? So when you bring up the government out here in America, they will protect the child, even though if the child is wrong. You get what I'm saying? There's no government that's gonna help. If anything, the police gonna beat your ass with your parent over there. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's a difference. Even if you look at the educational system, I would feel like, at 16, people in the Caribbean are ready for college.
Yeah,
they're
we're
ready.
smarter back home because we learned.
That's a fact.
We learned to count and stick, pointer, and toothpick and matchstick and these things.
Very well educated out there.
These kids in school get laptop and preschool laptop and iPad. Now we know about writing down numbers and with pen and paper.
It's a huge difference.
We don't know about technology. It's not that big. That's why most people here pass with flying colors from the Caribbean or something. Because we don't know about them technology.
I've seen plenty of people come from the Caribbean and then move to America and then really excel.
There's actually studies that show, and it goes back to the narrative that they're trying to push. There's actually studies that show that universities and colleges, they would accept somebody who's from Africa or from the Caribbean before they accept somebody who's like African American.
Yeah, because it's
that's America culture.
It's not that affordable back home. The technology, the iPad, the iPhones, and these things. Not everybody is, like could get that easy. You got to work hard.
Are you crazy?
I think that too. What you just said, and I did see that article. And I think there is some. And this is why we go back to Diaspora Wars because when you have Black Americans who do feel like they're qualified, but then somebody from another country is able to go in and get accepted. And then those same people that get accepted is now looking down on Black Americans. Well, I just lazy. I came over here from my country and I got accepted. You know what I mean? So now it's like, okay, well, now this is another, obstacle in our way for us, that people that are actually qualified, you know what I mean, to get into those schools. You know what I mean? So everything goes back to
if you even want to dive in deeper into that, because a lot of, immigrants come to America, right? And this is no shade on anybody. Let's say I know my potential if I want, let's just say a home health aide, for example, right? I say, I'm qualified and I should be making $30 an hour. But somebody from the Caribbean is willing to do it for 21 and saying I'm lazy. But I'm telling you, hey, you don't fucking take that job. They're underpaying you. And, because you come from the Caribbean, you can say, well, $21 is a lot of money to me. I don't give a fuck. And then we look like we're lazy because we don't want to take the $21, but we know it's worth $30. So sometimes we do have to fucking listen to each other like, yo, hold up. Don't take the $21. Unite with us. Tell them to fuck you. And then we're going to go get this 30 together. I mean, a lot of people don't talk about that, but that's the real reality to some situations.
It's hard for someone who's coming to the country.
Yeah, it's true because
and they're sleeping on the relative's floor and they're trying to get out, and they can't. So they're like, "Look, I just got to make money."
And they got family back home that don't even have a floor,
and they have family back home that's
me. I'm alone here. My mom is in Guyana. My father's in Guyana, so I have to fend for myself. I can tell you, I just got hustle.
I understand.
My own bread. It's not easy being alone here and your family back home. I mean, I got family here, but
I
understand. But my mom is a single mom, so I grew up with my mom. So I know, but working since I was 16, since I came out of high school, I never went to university. I never get a chance to do this, but I would when I get a chance to. But you can't put your hand where I can't reach. Whatever I have, I'm contented. So that's what I'm saying. People just try to come here to have a better life. So
I understand that.
Yeah, it's tough.
If somebody tell me, Duchess, come work here for like $20 an hour or whatever, me, I gone for it. I can save my money until it reached to freaking $1 million. And get that's me.
And send it back home. That's what y'all do.
Back home.
And that's smart. I'm not mad at it. I just think that sometimes if you're looking down on me, who's qualified for a certain amount, I think that part is this that shouldn't be happening in that whole shit. I understand we all got to get money how we got to get it.